amigos da NetSeg, amigos da ISC Brasil. Estamos aqui mais uma vez com uma super entrevistada aqui dentro das instalações da ISC Brasil 2023 e a gente vai falar um pouquinho hoje sobre uma tecnologia que a Intel está trazendo para a gente. Eu sou o Paulo Cardoso, editor convidado aqui da NetSeg, e nós vamos falar com a Kasia Hanson, que é Senior Director da Intel de Cybersecurity.
Physical and Cybersecurity.
Physical and Cybersecurity.
Yeah.
Very welcome to our videocast. And thank you all sponsors, as Shure, Dealer, Johnson Controls, Braco, Hub, and ABSEG. And please join us in this adventure to tell us about how Intel is part of this journey of cybersecurity and security, and what are your expectations here in ISC Brasil 2023.
Yeah, so Intel, as you know, is part of this AI momentum.
A long time ago.
A long time ago, and we are a computing partner, software partner of many of the folks in this room. Our role really is. AI has become such a center point right now for transformation, and we know it's important to have the best and most optimized computing for AI. But in the physical security space, it's still a bit of a journey, right? Mm-hmm. The physical security world is still has been focused on really protection of people, place, and things using cameras, right? Well, we know AI is rapidly advancing. It's expected that AI spending will surpass $300 billion by 2026. And so we're, on this quest to really help integrators, help end customers, security practitioners understand the power of Intel in their physical security environments, right? Mm-hmm. And how AI can be a transformative area for them using cameras, right? Cameras today are a sensor, but it's really now moving to the space with AI where it's bringing the physical and the digital together, right, to create this super powerful sensor. And then, of course, you have Intel Compute behind that can process the, complex algorithms and analytics that help you extract data from the cameras. So we're talking a lot about that today here, and then coupling that with cybersecurity, which is ultimately a super important topic, and one that, we're really talking more about holistic security between physical and cyber. Now more than ever, it's really important to secure cameras and secure all of your computing at the hardware level because attacks are going lower in the stack. So that's what we're doing here. I came all the way from California to Brazil. It's been a long time, and I love Brazil, love the food and the people.
And how important is the Brazilian market for Intel for this division? And what kind of a size opportunity do Intel and you see here, and why you're here in our country right now? Because I can believe that Intel made some research to understand this is a big market, a big opportunity here. What kind of opportunity do you see here, and how Intel have intent to capture this with this kind of the show?
Yeah, the smart safety and security market in Latin America as a whole is worth roughly $30 billion in TAM.
$30 billion?
$30 billion in TAM.
Wow.
We know that Latin America, including...
So the whole LATAM.
The whole LATAM, yeah. And we know that the region is going through a transformation in itself, right? I mean, many countries are coming out of the pandemic. There's new opportunities for transformation. Brazil is no different. Brazil is one of the top countries in the world where the physical security will be updated, will be advanced using AI. Mm-hmm. I mentioned this morning in my talk, over 50% of the companies in Brazil are using AI today.
Yes.
Right.
And that some companies they're using and they don't know that they're using.
Right, exactly. And so if you look at how AI can be used and how it can be coupled with physical security, right, and the machine learning and the computer vision and how that can help traffic in Brazil, it can help in schools and, school safety, it can help in retail, large retailers, using AI to understand buying patterns from their patrons, but in general, being able to keep this, all of the citizens of Brazil safe. There's so many new AI applications that you can use, and using the camera as a sensors. Brazil again, one of the top 5, I believe, for the physical security space.
Right. I know Intel for a long time, and everybody knows Intel because the logo Intel inside for many years was
Yeah.
part of the image of Intel that we have.
Yeah.
But today, how do you intend that understand that the partners, the integrators, the companies that sell this kind of solution can count or can learn from Intel for this opportunity, and how Intel is preparing this marketing by partners? Because as far as I know, Intel don't make direct sales.
Right.
Only by partners, by distributors, or by our resellers and the resellers. How this community can get advantage of this moment of Intel?
I think when it comes to new technologies or changing and transforming technologies, and even in a market that's changing and transforming, right?
Yeah.
Like Latin America and specifically Brazil, partners are really important. And so our effort in the security space is to work with the integration community, work with the partners and the manufacturers in this space to enable all of them with the information on the computing optimizations, the software. We're using our software called OpenVino to help ISVs optimize their software for Intel. And as you may know, we're not inside the camera, we're behind, right? And that's really where the magic of AI is happening, right? It's extracting the data from the camera, and then you're processing it behind the scenes. For example, you can use an Intel AI box. And that box, we will source that through many partners and ODMs, and you can put additional analytics on them, right? And that's where the magic really happens, is in that processing and the output of what those insights are. So you're right, we don't sell directly, but we do enable. We enable the ecosystem with the best solutions they can, and then integrators, I think, are on another. We want to make sure they're armed with the information about what's happening with AI. Because I do think in many cases, integrators may be a little bit behind, right? Physical security was, historically has been about, guards and gates and,
You have to make something, keep something secret, right?
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? There's a time and place, right? But the reality is that our partners really matter, and the ecosystem matters, right? And you want to surround yourself as an integrator with an ecosystem that is going to be, on the cutting edge, or at least knowledgeable of what are the opportunities going forward. And integrators, the opportunity for them is to create additional services.
Additional services. This is my question right now.
Yeah.
Because after the pandemic, a lot of integrations was lost in the space. They don't know what they're going to do in the future because everything's changed. They have to relearn everything, to reinvent themselves. And now they are looking for vendors like Intel that can show them what the future is going forward.
Yeah.
So that's the we are talking a lot of with a lot of the resellers, and what are going to do right now, because everything I did in the past doesn't make sense anymore.
Yeah.
So what?
Well, that's where you're creating new use cases using machine learning, deep learning, and then generative AI, right? And all of those are going to have implications in security in particular. So take an integrator that has done physical security and access control for a long time, right? The physical security world is not going anywhere anytime soon, right? We know that the sensors are going to become more and more powerful, but they want to be able to add, right? They have these powerful customer base, let's say, and they want to be able to add services. So as an example, in manufacturing, right? You have a large retailer that might have a large distribution center. That distribution center has security around it, but they probably have some theft in that distribution center of product, and then they probably have a lot of IoT technology in that distribution center that needs to be watched and looked at. They might have, maybe they're manufacturing something in that center and they need to look at defects, right? And quality control. You can now use AI and cameras to do that. Right. So that's a new use case, right, that you can sell to your customer. Or you can go to a retailer, right? And retailers use it to, for loss prevention, right? And theft. But you can go to a retailer and say, I want to help you to plan out how you have your promotions and your merchandise in your store based on where people are going, right? And being able to, you're not tracking the face, you're tracking just
the people,
right? You're tracking that, hey, there was an end cap in the store and there was, a lot of dwell time around that end
capturing
cap.
the behavior, right?
Yeah. And
but a difficult question. Sorry for interrupting you, but our audience here, we have a lot of CIOs, a lot of CSOs and they have only sometimes one big question, difficult question: how to convince them that is not kind of price, is the kind of survival of their business.
Oh, that it's, so
You agree with me or not?
that it's not about price. Yeah, it's not about price.
Yes.
Right. I think CSOs in particular probably run into a challenge that, oftentimes they're given a budget, and their budget is to protect a building or protect, a retailer or a manufacturing site or something, right? They're given like a commercial building to protect, right? But ultimately, I think the integrator's opportunity is to take it upon themselves to learn how to present new solutions and outcomes that are going to give more business insights. Everybody's looking for more business insights, right? And CSOs need to be empowered and enabled to do that and be able to go to their CEO and say, I can do. We have 1,500 cameras in our system, and I believe I can do 3 new business insights using those cameras that can help reduce loss prevention, can give us better insights into what's working in our planograms and our crowd control, and give some really business insight, or outcomes, I guess we would call them. Give them the outcomes, and it's not easy, but I think as we evolve in security, the other piece is the cybersecurity, right? And it's making sure that the cameras are now they're going from analog to digital, and they need to be protected. So the good and the bad is when they were analog, they're not on the network, so they can't be touched, right?
Yeah.
But now they're digital, and now they can be hacked.
So this put a kind of this different decision makers on the table.
Yeah, it does.
So probably they have to change the mentality. That's not only CSO that take decision, but that they have to involve also the CEO, the CFO, because have to analyze the impact of the business.
Yeah.
And who else is involved in the decision making? The end user?
Well, I think it's the also assessing the risk. So oftentimes, depending on the size of the company, right? If we think about a big company, you have a CSO, a CISO, and you have a CIO, and then you have a CEO, right? And you need to understand the risk that's happening at the company. And I mentioned in my talk, I had a colleague, I was at a conference last week in California, and a colleague asked the audience, he said, what is risk? What causes risk? And everybody thought, well, people. Well, that wasn't the answer. He said, it's value. So if you're making money, you're creating value, and therefore you're creating risk. And that could be on the physical side or the digital. And the physical and digital are blurring. They're really starting to come together. So it's really powerful to have a CISO and a CSO really working together, hand in hand, to make sure that not only the company is protected from a cyber attack, or at least, risk mitigation, but then the CSO is participating in that, making sure that everything is on the network, it's protected. But also, I think the CSO role is going to change a little bit in that they're going to, many CSOs are law enforcement or former law enforcement, right? Exactly. I know a lot of them, and they're fantastic, but
they have to reinvent themselves.
We have to evolve. We're evolving, right? And it's providing those insights and value beyond just the camera. That's what gets you more budget, by the way, is if you provide those, hey, I can do these insights using the cameras. And, I have a customer, a partner that we're going to do a proof of concept with a very, very large global company that has distribution centers all over the world. And they have robotics in their distribution facility, right? And they're getting out all this product. So we're going to test Intel Scenescape, which is a 3D digital twin using the cameras, right? So a CSO, I took this to an integrator, right? And I said, hey, wouldn't it be great if you could offer this to your customers as an added service, right? You already manage and maintain all these cameras for your customers. Scenescape allows you to take a 3D digital twin model from the cameras, using the cameras. So in this case, they're going to look at the robots and see, are the robots doing what we need them to do? We have a feeling they aren't, so we need to make some improvements, and we're going to use that digital twin technology to tell us what we need to improve.
Do you think that in the near future, or how long do you think it's going to happen, this separation between physical security and cybersecurity and digital security?
Oh my gosh,
you're
that's
going
a
to
great
get a difficult question, but
yeah, I think time will tell. I think it's sooner rather than later. I think those CSOs and CISOs that are coming together proactively, I think in the long run they'll be able to protect their companies much better, hands down. And I think that's sooner rather than later. Like that's now. I think those that resist, I think they will be challenged, right, to get further investment. They'll be challenged to, what if a hack happens in their cameras and something happens, right? They will continue to be challenged. So I think now's the time to really explore what the options are, align with your CISO. Some companies, though, are smaller and they have a CIO and that's it.
Exactly.
And he or she is asked to do everything, and that's the challenge. And we want to help them with the right information and the ecosystem to help them do that. Right.
Great. Kasia, this conversation is very good, but you have a few time. The camera is yours. Please leave a message to our subscribers and the message from your experience here, what you've seen here, and your message to our audience and to our subscribers. Please, camera is yours.
Great. Hey, I'm so excited to be back in Brazil after a very long time. Love the people of Brazil and especially the food. So for your subscribers, Intel is extremely supportive, and we have many different insights and capabilities from our partners that we're happy to share with your subscribers. If you have any of the topics around security, we're enabling the partners in Brazil and LATAM with that information, including AI software partners. So if you go online and you search for AI Inference Catalog, you can see all the software partners we work with to optimize their software for AI on Intel. So take a look at that. But thank you very much for your support, Brazil, of Intel, and just again, happy to be here and very glad to have your support. And Brazil's very important to us, so we're going to keep supporting and enabling.
That's great.
Yeah.
Kasia, again, thank you so much for your time, for giving us this new vision of the Intel. Most part of our subscribers of others doesn't make an idea that Intel is involved and deeper involved on that.
Yeah.
And we are surprised with you doing, guys, over here. And we hope to talk more soon in our channel.
Yeah.
And again, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
And nós acabamos aqui mais uma entrevista da NetSeg com a nossa convidada, Kasia Hanson, da Intel. E, mais uma vez, muito obrigado pela audiência de vocês e nos vemos na próxima entrevista. Um abraço a todos vocês. Muito obrigado.
Obrigado.